What's up everyone? Happy Thursday. I wanted to talk a little bit about the state of the game, where it's at, some of the events that are going on to help out the community, and the event that you haven't been playing consistently for some of the newer players joining up, and some things to do, as well as what I'm doing in the end game, what I'm focusing on, some of the things I've been dealing with as a player just in my own respect that I wanted to share with you, just to be honest and transparent with you as a group. I think everyone deserves that. I wanted to first off talk about some of the things that are going on right now. We got the Seize the Day rewards, day 4. We get 300 primo gems from that and some other materials. The test run, you can test out Klee, see if she's a character you want to roll for. You get 20 primo gems for it. You can also test out the 4-star units in her banner, which is, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess this up. Oh my gosh, Jin Q. I think it's Jin Q. It's John Q. You can try out John Q, and then we've got Sucrose. So you can get some materials for free by just checking them out. And honestly, I think that's always good to do, just because you never know what you might like as a character. And who knows, like I have Venti, but I might actually like Sucrose. So I haven't done those yet. I need to, but definitely get those done before they go away. And then the other part is the stuff we have in the mail. So we actually have a survey continuing. I think this was originally, because I didn't do a second survey, but oh no, they did. Yeah, so I guess if you did the survey originally, get an extra 30,000 Mora, and if you didn't do it, make sure to do it so that you can get some free Mora. Early game players may not think that's a big deal, but end game players are going to know the feels on that stuff. The struggle is real for Mora. That is like the new gated resource other than resin. So Battle Pass has 18 days left. The event that they came up with, the Elemental Crucible, it was pretty underwhelming for a lot of people, and a lot of people were just like, well, this is kind of lame for the first event. It should be pretty big. I really don't think this was MiHoYo's way of trying to make it big. I think this was them responding and balancing people's worry that they weren't going to be able to finish the Battle Pass due to the resin restrictions. So them offering some of those goals and allowing some additional challenges help people get it up. And I mean, 18 days left. I'm Battle Pass 39. I was also kind of there. I mean, I started since day 1, but I wasn't too worried about it. But I know some of the players that joined the bandwagon a couple days after were really stressed out about this. There was a lot of topic of discussion, so that really helped. Another thing that I found out too is the weekly runs for leyline deposits. This is something that I wanted to bring up even for late game players, because I was totally I just didn't even think about this, but these ley lines, you can actually run them without actually using them or using your resin on them. So they spawn every day, so they don't have like a reset timer, so you can't like spam them for like enemies or anything. Reset daily with everything else, so you can get them 4 times a day, so you can get it done in 5 days, or you can join other people's games and help them run them. Weekly battle pass completed. Hope that helps you. That was something that for whatever reason, I didn't realize. I wanted to also talk about resin, because resin's been an area of the game where has been super stressful for me. It was something that originally, I don't mind if it's gating certain things. It's these ones that bother me. It's the artifacts, right? So artifacts already have RNG that can be pretty bad. So, you know, you can get the wrong sets, you can get the wrong stats that you weren't looking for what you're building. You're obviously only starting with a few characters that you're focusing on. So getting a terrible roll on it, it doesn't feel satisfying, and you almost feel like baited to, you know, use your resin, and you only get so much of it. And yeah, you do get your resin stones and stuff, so can't complain too much. But I mean, I will tell you, I've ran Thunder Fury. I still only have 3 drops after 20 runs, and it just doesn't feel good to run out of resin. Ungating that as a resin resource and keeping the others would be okay, because I do get the ascension materials, the weapon materials, the talent tree, like try not to gate that. But even if you didn't gate those, you're still going to be gated by the Mora needs that those have, and that's still going to cause people to have to go through the game and have to kill enemies, do missions daily, and all that kind of stuff. Now I want to talk a little bit about the end game, because the end game in Genshin Impact right now, it's only a few things, right? Like you can either run resource runs each day when they regenerate to be able to improve the gear that you have, or run ascension materials in the dungeons, use your resin runs, or get the elites and build your main team that you're trying to build and get them all kind of leveled up and scaled evenly somewhat. You can focus on building a second team essentially for the Abyss. You don't really necessarily need to do that, but some people are doing that. Then there is trying to make sure that you've collected everything, going through. You can use the interactive map to be able to identify the locations of those and go after them. People are you're using those to be able to do certain routes for enemies or resources and gaining them. But then the last part, then the piece that I think that has actually caused me the most stress is the Abyss. So the Abyss is a dungeon. For those of you that are new to this game or this content, this to me is just a rotational resource for primo gems and at the end game for free-to-play players, right? And originally when I play games like this, I like to be a free-to-play player eventually, but I'm okay investing into a game to get to that point, and this game doesn't really make you feel very good for doing that. We'll get to that next, but the Abyss is a dungeon that drops great rewards early game because each step of the way as you're going through this, you're going to get, so when you clear a floor with 3 stars, you actually get 100 primo gems per floor on the early floors. And then as you get to the end, you unlock this piece, which is the Abyssal Spire. The Abyssal Spire goes up, I think, to 12. So you can go floors 9 through 12, and I think you can get 150 primo gems per floor. It's very difficult from my understanding, and then I think you will unlock like an unlimited floor clear where you can, it's just grinding the dungeon over and over again. That's kind of like the end game right now from my understanding. I haven't done a ton of research on it, so don't quote me on that, but this is really like my focus is try to, how do I build my teams right now to be able to rotate through this and get as much as I can through it. Problem is it's not really just about the team being built up to a certain level, it's also about the elements that you're using in each one. So as of right now, I'm struggling through getting through 7 just because I'm not really fully understanding the concepts that go into it. So I've actually been watching some guides from actually some free-to-play players that I definitely recommend. I think his name is Enviosity. Definitely recommend his content. He's giving back to the game in a great way by playing completely free-to-play teams, which is insane because I don't have a free-to-play team and I'm struggling. And this dude, he went in there with like his second team with only 3 units just so that he can challenge himself to do it with only the units the game has given you, which is nuts. That rocks though. Like I'm super envious that he's doing that because that's obvious. That's why his name's Enviosity. Jeez, I just figured it out. So go follow him because he's a true champ for making content like that for free-to-play users, because that's definitely the kind of stuff we need to support in this community. Because honestly, watching people blow $5,000 in this game is it's not satisfying, it's depressing, and this game stresses me out when it comes to summons. Like I get so nervous when I get 160 primo gems, and I get even more nervous when my wallet starts to open. So honestly, I'll actually just go into the summons piece of this. If you're new to this game, if you have spent money, if you haven't spent money, you're either going to get extremely lucky and love it, or you're going to get extremely unlucky like me. Okay, I've dropped like 500 bucks on this game so far, and it is not a fun game when you don't get the things you want. It's a lot of money. It's not meant to give you what you want. There are people that show you the highlight reels, but they may not be telling you at the forefront of that video how much they've actually spent and not to. And this is why I'm honestly saying only spend if this is like hobby. And this is advice from a friend of mine that kind of helped me clear my head on this, because honestly, like there's a lot of clickbaity titles, and that kind of got me on this game because I'm a content creator for games like this, and I got kind of caught up in the moment too, trying to post ways to help people save, and people did not like that. They were like, dude, this is common sense. So I appreciate the feedback from the community, and I will make sure to kind of go back to my honest self, and that is just talking about the games I love and kind of my thoughts and my theories and just my processing through it, and helping any of you if you guys are going through the same thing. I just honestly am just trying to make this more like, I just want to talk to you and let you know where I'm at with it. But summoning in this game and putting money in this game has actually made me dislike it more than it's made me appreciate it. And the whole purpose of summoning is to, yeah, get that luck for that character that you want. But I don't want to be envious of somebody else's account just because I spent more money than they did and they got better drops or got the drops that I wanted. And that's not the way that a game's designed to make you feel. But this game's designed from a summon standpoint is not a good rate. My recommendation to all of you is, put money into the daily primo gems that you get 18,000 primo gems for just like, you can get it for 12 bucks on the Android store if you have some points. I made a video on that to show you how, if that's something you're interested in, but realistically it's $30 if you do the base price for the 180 days, and you get 1,800 primo gems up front and then 16,200 over the next 6 months, which to me, that's helping me clear my head and be like, hey, I'm going to focus on the next 6 months. I'm going to let my primo gems come in and I'm going to summon as I get. I really wanted the wolf gravestone and I didn't get it. I actually got the skyward sword on a 25% chance, and I was very frustrated for like 2 days. My advice: don't spend money you don't have. Don't get too caught up in the moment because the rates could still hurt you. If you are wanting something guaranteed, I only recommend to go for heroes. The weapons can bait you because there's still a 50-50 chance you get the opposite weapon. So just be careful and be smart about this game and really appreciate it, because like honestly, the exploration in this game is fantastic. I love it. Personally, I still love this game, and I really hope that the new content, they can create some more ways for endgame that feels, I guess, more appreciated and makes me feel like I want to jump on and get these things done just because it's fun to do. do or just fun to be involved in. I know that the devs are working on stuff. I think the game has had kind of a mixed rap, like really positive reviews, but people are pretty salty about some of the rates and some of the things, including myself. So I just really wanted to clear the air, tell you guys that's kind of where my head's at. I'm going to be making content on this game moving forward with the focus of just trying to tell you guys where, like, what my plan is or my process and strategy is with everything and what I'm going for, what I'm not going for, what I don't recommend, what I do recommend. If you have questions, feel free to comment below. If you want to join the discussion, feel free to sub, like, comment on any of the videos. I respond fairly quickly. Anyone's welcome. My advice right now is just not to summon if you don't have the funds for it. And if you do, make sure you're not putting so much into it that you know you'll regret it. Dude, like, who was it? M Taste or something like that? That guy got so much hate because he dropped so much money on Klee and then came back around and was talking about how he regretted it. It's like, dude, you spent $2 grand on a character. Just own it. Just own you're a whale and you enjoyed whaling. And then just, dude, talk about how great she is. Like, don't talk smack about your decision in it. Like, so great. Oh my gosh. It kills me. Thank you so much for sticking through this video. If you did, I appreciate you. Let me know if you like this type of style of video, by the way. This is honestly me just being raw and real. This is how I am on stream. I'm not trying to impress anybody, but I will kind of cut this together to make sure that it's as short and sweet as possible. But I wanted to make something a little bit different this time. So if this is the Murr you guys want, I will give them to you. Thanks again. I will see you in the next one, fam.